Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. I celebrated my 30th anniversary without my wife. Need support. My wife has been a serial cheater. She admitted to the first one back in 1994. I forgave her and tried to move on. We actually had a good relationship for the next 14 years or so. But then she had a class reunion in 2008, and ever since then she has been chasing guys. I still love her and don't want our family life to end. Marriage and family have been the most important thing in the world to me. Unfortunately, she doesn't share those feelings. In the last 10 years, she has had many other men in her life. She is constantly seeking their attention and is likely a sex addict. She has extensively sexted with numerous guys and it was extremely pornographic with at least 2. She has openly offered sex to at least 5 guys, and at least 3 of them accepted in some way. I'm sure there were many more. Those are just the ones that I have either seen on her phone or she has admitted to. She has left me 3 times, including the current separation since the start of October. Looking back, I have been carrying our marriage for years. We live off my income, I pay all the bills, I am the primary supporter of the kids, and I do most of the cooking and cleaning. Any romantic connections that we share started with me. We have always been good friends and enjoyed a comfortable and seemingly happy relationship. But I live in constant fear. She has lied to me so many times and gaslighted me about all of it. I feel like I have lost my mind. She has told me that she wants a divorce. The first time she left me, it was during a phone call while I was on a break at work. The second time, it was in a text, again while at work. This time, it was in a letter taped to my steering wheel, which I received just before going to work. Did I mention that I'm in trouble at work? I'm still in love with her. She simply didn't feel the same, maybe from the very beginning. I don't think she misses me at all. I think she has already started dating again, and I'm pretty sure she is bar hopping for guys right now. I know I need to get over her, but it hurts so much. I don't know how to nice on. Despite it all, I'm still grateful for what I had. I cannot regret marrying her or even staying with her when things got bad. We have 3 wonderful sons, and that alone makes me happy. But it's more than that. Even if it wasn't entirely reciprocated, for 30 years I was deeply in love with her. She was my best friend and almost always made me happier. I don't want to forget the good times. So I want to just feel gratitude and I don't want to forget. I just hope that eventually I will stop feeling so much pain. I know exactly what you mean. I'm struggling letting go. It's making my life a living f***ing hell. I'm glad to hear that someone understands. I know I made a lot of mistakes letting her treat me so badly. I know we are done and I can't let her back again. But none of that makes the hurt go away. I may have been a fool, but was mostly hoping to find others who have suffered similarly. I'm looking to find the path forward without her, and could use some good advice. I hope that you find your path, too. You've been incredibly abused and taken advantage of for decades. Your love for her made you stay for so long, hoping one day she'd wake up and realize she needs to get her act together, hoping that one day she'd realize you're a great man, father and husband and that you are enough. But the truth is, that day never came. She continued to be the selfish, self-centered, cheating wife who disrespected you and took you for granted. You're the breadwinner and are a dedicated father and husband. Her not being grateful is beyond me. So many wives wish they had a husband like you. I understand loving the wrong person very well and trust me when I tell you, we choose to keep the blindfold on. We know who that person is. We know they don't love us back or ever will, but our love is so intense, we can't imagine our lives without this person. And it's pathetic. It's sad. How we settle for people who not only treat us badly, but people who do not respect us. Letting go of someone we love is the hardest, most painful thing. I'm going through it, so I know the amount of pain you must be going through. I'm sorry, disappointed face. I do hope you find the strength to keep pushing though, and someday, your pain will be lesser. I know you probably will keep loving her because the heart just doesn't understand what the mind knows. Stay strong and I hope you heal completely one day. Praying gesture, heart. You just described what I'm feeling with amazing accuracy. Thank you very much for your kindness and support. I need it. You're very welcome. I was in an abusive/toxic relationship too, and I stayed for as long as I did because of the trauma bond you develop with your abuser. I think you know you've been married to a narcissist by now. I had to educate myself on narcissism to understand better the man I was dealing with. People with narcissistic personalities act like my ex and your wife, and no, they won't change. They won't see their faults either. They only get worse, and yes, they lie, cheat, apologize, you take them back, and then the cycle repeats itself. We are the only ones who can stop them from abusing us. We must cut that cord. Remember, what we allow will continue. If you ever need to vent, send me a message. I'll try my best to be neutral and non-judgmental. You seem to know this very well. I am in a situation very similar to also struggling to let go. I also started to recognize that my wife is a narcissist. She never says sorry, she always gaslights me, putting the blame on me, and acts like nothing happens, oblivious to the pain she's causing me and the children. How did you learn how to cope with this? Did you read any books? No books. The behavior my ex exhibited was really disturbing and confusing to me at first. I didn't know much about narcissism. I read a lot online. While scrolling on IG, I saw this post that sounded a lot like my ex. And that's how my education journey started. I started to follow a lot of pages focused on life coaches and therapists helping people cope with narcissistic abuse. This is how I learned everything I needed to know about the mind of a narcissist, how they think, how they feel, and how they operate. You need to understand these are disordered individuals. Literally, their brains do not work the same as those of a normal person. You'd ask me if they can be cured or if therapy could help them. I've read a lot about this. Therapists don't think a narcissist can be helped much. First of all, people who seek therapy have acknowledged they have a problem. Narcissists are incapable of self-reflection or remorse because of their lack of empathy. It would take for them to really hit rock bottom to seek for therapy or any other type of professional help, but since they don't think there's anything wrong with them to begin with, they won't. And for people who are married with these individuals, you can convince them to do marriage counseling. Only for your narcissistic spouse to turn hit around in front of the therapist, play the victim or deny accountability. Also, they listen to the therapist and try to tell them they're mistaken. It's a competition you cannot win. They're not sane. They're not normal. And they inflict pain on purpose. Their sadism comes from the brokenness they carry inside and the pain they were unable to cope with in whatever age there was that they went through something very traumatic. In life, there are two types of victims: those who go through abuse or toxic stuff as kids, learn to cope with the pain and grow up to be normal people with a good heart, and those who never cope with the pain and grow resentment and anger. Instead, they become perpetrators. Predators. That's what a narcissist is. If you have an IG account, look up Melanie Tonya Evans. She's amazing, and thanks to her, I learned most of what I know. She has videos on YouTube as well and a healing program. Thanks a lot for sharing this. Indeed, I recognize many of the behaviors you mention. My wife's always been very resentful, probably due to some difficult experiences in her early teenage years. It took me years to see this, as she only shows it in private, mostly to me, while she smiles to the rest of the world. I tried to talk to her about this resentment, but she denies it, and turns it on me. She's always been difficult in self-reflection and remorse. Any comment that seems to her as accusing, even if it's not, she will turn it around and make you feel guilty about it. This has always made our relation a bit tricky because we could not communicate effectively, but it was not a showstopper. But I did not see the connection with her cheating behavior until recently. I am struggling through the same thing. Up until the day I found out she cheated, I loved her. My life, and my future revolves around her. How am I supposed to flip that off like a switch? How am I supposed to think the most important person in my mind isn't my biggest cheerleader? Duckman. Why couldn't shit be different? So true. It is really hard to just give up on your dreams. I think that is part of why this has been so hard. I'm holding on to an illusion. You nailed it when you asked why shit can't be different. I think that every day. Real love is not switch. For us though, the love must transform into a genuine form of letting go. It's painful, difficult, at times seemingly impossible, but it's the only way. The romantic arc in that love does subside and the love that remains goes from eros to agape, at least that's how it is for me. Love then becomes the one great liberating act that finally sets us free amid all the betrayals and heartbreak. Honestly, in where you are now, we were together 17 years, I still love him, which is why I can't let go and why we let them treat us like this. Ours minds know better, but our hearts are being crushed over and over again while holding on with strands. I want to just get the duck out of here, but we have 4 kids and I couldn't do that to them. I just don't know how to move forward, but if you find a way, please, I beg you, let me know. Good luck. Thank you. Perhaps we can offer guidance to each other. I will update if I can. Next time she asks for a divorce, tell her to pack her shit and get the duck out. Then cancel the credit cards, drain the mutual bank accounts and change the locks to your house. As for legal advice, get it yesterday. She moved, the finances are separate, and I've already talked to a lawyer. So far, the terms are amicable. I am very glad for you. Hopefully everything will work to your favor. Please focus on your kids and get them the help they will need to be functional adults. The way the post read, it seemed that you were still standing in one place. But the question is, will you take her back when she returns? The chances are she will return again, as she had done it earlier. So you should take a strong decision now, whether you take her back if she returns. Now you know what she will do if she comes back, that she will do it again. There is one big difference this time. Me. I fought hard to convince her to come back before. I fought her when she told me she wanted a divorce. I'm not fighting anymore. I'm just struggling to move on. My post was mostly seeking support as I start down a new path. You are allowing her walk all over you. What type of relationship advice are you giving to your sons? I think now your sons think that abuse is okay in their relationship. So because of you, your sons are probably going to have bad relationship. Because children learn from their parents and you taught them 30 years of abuse is okay. Instead of seeing a good relationship, they have seen their father abused throughout their relationship. They will definitely be traumatized. It is time for you and your children for therapy. The older boys never knew about the early stuff and were gone before it got bad. The youngest has seen too much, but has seen me change lately. And he knows who is in his corner every day. It has always been me. He is in therapy, and I know I should have been stronger, but I'm doing my best to show him a positive path. I'm struggling too. Very similar situation as Op. It's clear that our relationship is over and I want to move on and let go. But it is just so incredibly hard. What do you do to try to let go? Maybe you have any tips you can share, things that work for you. Also, you should finalize a divorce. And you should present all the evidence you have of the affairs. Don't pay for her, don't give in to alimony, don't give in to a custody arrangement. Cut it off simply and cleanly. She doesn't deserve any of that. Just know somewhere out there a stranger is praying for you, for your strength, for your love, and for your heart. Sadly, I may be forced to give in to some of her demands. My state is a no-fault, community property state and she does have some rights. Also, she isn't being ridiculous about her demands. I'm mostly worried about taking care of my youngest son. But I think she is going to be decent about it. The process will take months, 90-day minimum once fillings are complete, but I think we both want it to end soon. I'm sorry to hear you have to, but do what's easiest and most efficient in getting through with this. No need to prolong it. Especially if she comes back around trying to get back together. You want to be out fast and furious. I'm happy to hear that there's no crazy demands though, that's great. What you are doing is not right. It's wrong to allow someone to continue to disrespect you and the institution of marriage in general. It's wrong to normalize this for your children. It is really dysfunctional and nothing to celebrate. Think of it like a woman who is married to a man who puts her in the hospital and cuts her face, burns her and such with repeated violence. She is full of scars, but if she continued to go back to him calling it love, I think most people would only see this situation as severely dysfunctional and destructive. Though we all have sympathy, at some point she has a responsibility to protect herself and take herself out of harm's way, particularly if she has children. It's not any different just because the abuse is emotional. Honestly, a relationship with someone who is living with you and pursuing other people can't really be called a monogamous marriage. Sounds like you haven't had one in a long time. I am not sure I would even call it love. I think it is impossible to love without respect. Respect for the person you are with and for yourself. I know that was all harsh, but it's the truth. I think you need to find your courage to stick up for yourself. You need to realize that you deserve better than this. I think you need to seek some help and stop romanticizing your abuse and your abuser. I'm not romanticizing it anymore. I don't think she loves me, maybe she hasn't for a long time. I don't know. Strangely, it doesn't really matter anymore. I loved her for a very long time and it mostly felt very good. I don't regret that. We are on a clear path to divorce. I'm just hurting from the bumps in the road. I'm just trying hard to move forward without her. The support I was seeing was for doing that in an effective way. Hi, poster. I'm sorry for the comments in this thread. A lot of it is so mean and filled with so much hatred, and I feel for you. I know it's so much easier to stay with the person you love and to forgive. I know you do share a lot of good memories, and have a connection that makes you feel whole. I'm sorry you're going through this, but I promise you there is a light at the end of the tunnel. At this point, through everything you've done for her, and all the times you've forgiven her, you do need to realize that you shouldn't any longer. You deserve someone who loves you as deeply as you love them. You deserve honesty and loyalty, and you deserve someone you can rely on. I sincerely hope and pray for your well-being. You will stop feeling pain, not soon, but one day your life will grow around that pain. Right now, focus on yourself. Attend therapy, eat some new foods, join a gym, find a new hobby, find new friends, start something with your boys, maybe some type of family tradition, just the four of you, get a puppy or a little kitty. Enjoy yourself and your life, even if sometimes you have to pretend, because one day you'll stop pretending. Thank you very much for this comment. I am doing all of those things, and honestly feeling good about it most of the time. I have moments where I go backwards, then try to reframe it and head back in a positive direction. Tonight happened to be one of those times. I have been a doormat. I have been taken advantage of. I know that. Being angry about that doesn't help. It leaves me dwelling on the past, and that's the last thing I need. Your comment focuses on a positive future, and that is exactly what I need. I'm a good dad, and my boys know that. I'm a good person. I was even a good husband. I do deserve better, and that's what I desperately need to remember. Thank you for reminding me. I should clarify this comment. I'm not trying to reconcile anymore. The positive future in trying to focus on is a life without her. This is entirely new to me, which is why I still have setbacks. But I'm doing my best to move forward. I did learn one thing though. This group isn't very helpful when you need support.